Hello everyone, welcome to my classroom. I'm Neetu Ann Thomas, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Civil Engineering, SNIT Adur. I've been teaching you Principles of Management, which is being taught for the 6th semester K2 BTech students. So in this class, we'll be learning about selection process. So what is a selection process? It is nothing but identifying the qualified person from the recruitment process that we have mentioned or we've studied in our previous class. There are different recruitment process by which we get to know the qualified person or the suitable candidate for our organization so that he or she can perform well because of their valuable contributions to the organization. So it depends, the selection process depends on many steps, so those steps we're going to discuss in detail right now. So the first step in selection process is receiving the application. So it is a worldwide phenomenon of the first step for the selection process will be receiving of the application form. So the form will be filled up by the candidate who is applying for the job, and in that form there will be necessary details of the candidate like age, marital status, educational qualification, previous work experience, etc. So if that process or that stage is being covered up by the application form filling up, so the candidate will be able to know whether he is actually eligible for the job or eligible for the given position. So that is one advantage of filling up the application form. Secondly, it is screening of the applications. So as we've discussed in the previous point of receiving the application, simultaneously the screening process also will happen, because they are or the organizational HR or the human resource managers will be well aware of the post and the position and the people who are actually eligible for the post. So seeing the application form itself, they can reject, and such is what is happening in screening. That is, they'll eliminate the people who are not really eligible for the post. So that's what is happening in screening. Thirdly, it is the employment test. So employment test is nothing but some aptitude test or some psychological tests, etc., will be conducted to measure the abilities of the person or the applicant. So that is employment test. These tests will be the first process in the selection of a candidate, because through these preliminary test or the preliminary written test or the aptitude test, we'll come to know the range of the applicant. So that level of the applicant will be judged by then, and then only that is also one form of screening, right? That is employment test. Then it is employment interview. So that can be a personal interview. That is, there will be conversation between the applicant and the interviewer who is interviewing the person, and there'll be personal questions asked, or there will be questions based on the subject or the topics or the available topics or whichever field he is in a major in. So that is employment interview. There might be a panel of members for the interview, or there'll be a person-to-person interview, just a face-to-face one-person interview. So that depends upon the company. So that is how the employment interview happens. Fifthly, it is checking references. So that is one of the important process where reference of the candidate has been analyzed. Whether he has done work in a very good firm, he is number of the years of experience he has is from a very good firm, reputed company, or things like that. So whichever reference he had mentioned in his biodata or CV will be verified with, or if there is any external reference that is being mentioned, also they'll verify those references also. So that is checking of references. Sixth, it will be physical examination. So physical examination is carried out to see whether the applicant does not suffer from any diseases or disabilities which can stop him from doing his work. So that is a test that is being conducted in every organization. Physical examination, that is whether the person is capable to do the work without any uh, diseases or disabilities. So that is physical examination. And finally, there'll be a final selection. Almost people who are eligible or appropriate for doing the job will be selected in this stage, and the training sessions will carry on, or the induction sessions will be carried on further from there. So induction is given to the newly selected employees to know more about the organization, and they'll help the orientation process will help them to know about their co-workers, the newly employed staff, and the place around the different buildings. What are the purpose of different buildings, where are the different facilities available, all these things related to the company will be handled in this orientation class or the induction session. So this is the selection process that is happening in any firm, from receiving the application, screening the application, employment test, personal interview, checking for references, physical examination, and final selection. So that's all for the day. Thank you.